Juneann Lewis Show. We're here to inspire you to your next level. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Juneann Lewis Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your host, Juneann Lewis. And you know, I always tell you that I bring motivational, educational, and inspirational content. Well, today I have got a fabulous guest today. This young lady, I was impressed when I met her the first time, and I'm still impressed when I found out a little bit more about her. This young lady has been an entrepreneur, she says, from before time begun, but I don't believe her. But anyway, she's been an entrepreneur for years. Her parents were entrepreneurs, and so she was an entrepreneur. She's a motivational speaker. She has written books, and listen, she has made a difference. She was able to write a book with Jack Canfield. You know, the writer of Chicken Soup for the Soul. She actually wrote a book with him. Powerful information in here. This is truly something that's going to change your life. But I want you to meet my guest. My guest is Miss Theo Prodromitis.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Juneann. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
Theo, thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're a busy woman. Today, our sponsor, I have to give a shout out to my sponsor. My sponsor is Infinity Aero Club of Tampa. And for anyone that's interested in a flying club and learning how to fly, please do take the opportunity and connect with Infinity Aero Club of Tampa. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk first about your books, then we're going to talk about your entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about your life, give us a little background on, I know you said your parents were entrepreneurs. And you know what's very inspirational about that? Even for parents. Whatever you're doing, know that your children are watching. And even if they're not participating at that time, they will eventually. They'll catch it on, yes. Well, Theo, we want to talk about your first book. So please go ahead and tell me a little bit about your book. The Success Formula is what it is. And Theo has done a fabulous job. She's done a part in there with Mr. Jack Canfield. Tell us how you got involved in that, and start from the beginning, wherever you feel comfortable, to introduce yourself to my audience. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. As Juneann said, I'm Theo Prodromitis, and I have one of those long Greek names, so people just say Theo, which is totally fine, because I really believe in building the community and
Yes.
getting to know each other.
Yes.
When we first met and saw each other, just there was that instant magnetism
Truly.
where we knew that we wanted to go further.
And do something together. Yes.
Absolutely. So my journey began, and as I say, in entrepreneurship
Yes.
at birth. And it sort of sounds funny, but the fact is that even back to, I remember in the third grade, I had a chance to run the school store. And so I think that was it. I was coming up with all kinds of promotions at the time, buy 2 packs of paper and get an eraser for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you did have that skill. Yes.
I did. It was before Staples or Office Depot were open. So the kids actually got their supplies at school, and
Yes.
I knew I had that innate desire, and really it was part of just connecting with people.
Right.
Yeah, it was a chance to, I was seated at the front of the school where the buses unloaded, and so I got to see every single person, and every day I was there before school, and I was willing, my parents would help me with it, to get to school
Earlier, right, because you had to do that. Now, what did your dad do?
Yes, he was an entrepreneur,
Right.
and he was a real estate broker, financial consultant, and he wrote some speeches for politicians. He was very diverse, so I followed in his footsteps.
In his footsteps,
Yes.
truly. And then, of course, you started your own entrepreneurship. Tell us about that.
Yes. And Juneann had asked me when I started the entrepreneurship journey. Now, coming from a Greek family, we worked in our family businesses since the beginning of time. So any of our
And you didn't get paid, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you got paid in product.
In
It was either the diner or
Yeah.
it was hair products. Well, it was sort of in trade. And it was just for the experience. So even though I came up that way, when you had asked that, it was a great question, because it made me think about fast forwarding to 2014, where I had already, the beginning of my career was very successful in as a sales trainer,
Right.
and in marketing consumer goods in the United States. But in 2014, I decided to sell on Amazon and take the big plunge. I had owned a couple of businesses before that, but that was the real significant time when I had an opportunity to do this and to share with people.
And to Theo, that was great timing for you coming into Amazon because they were just bursting onto the scene. Now I must ask, I'm going to sidestep. What caused you to take that step?
One thing that caused me to take the step was that it was an emerging market, and really, truth be told, it was somebody challenging me because I always like a challenge. And one of our business associates that was selling on Amazon said, Theo, you're not going to like this business. You can't do it because there's no people involved. It's just a computer, and you're never going to meet anybody at Amazon. And I said, oh, just watch me.
That's my girl. Listen, that's my personality. Just tell me I can't do it, and I promise you, that's when I will do it. Yes, yes,
and one year later, I was invited to the Amazon headquarters to a women's leadership conference. And then I got connected with their team and met some very, amazing collaborators there. And then they had me back several times to actually speak at the sellers forums.
Wow, so yes, that is dynamic. So that opened the door to you launching something else.
Yes.
Now, what was your next step after that?
Yes. So I dug myself into the Amazon experience, and I took that moment to really fall in love again with entrepreneurship and the ability to reach people, and that was 2014. And then the next step was to actually add more products on Amazon, and then start looking at opportunities to share the success. And because it really dawned on me that people want freedom. What they want with entrepreneurship
is freedom. Yes. Sometimes they don't always get it. They just get a new boss, which is your client.
Yes. No, it's true. So I really was motivated, and of course, for the fact that as a female, then I got divorced, a little bit before that, so that I was rebuilding personally too.
Wow. Yes.
So in 2008, I had gotten divorced, so I had, put myself back together after that, and really wanted to do it because I needed to for independence.
This is very important that Theo touched on that, because whether you became a widow or you got divorced or separated, whatever it is. And I'm not only speaking to women, I'm speaking to men, because both parties are starting over in this case. Because two is always going to be better than one in terms of income. But however, as one, you can still sustain yourself and take yourself to the next level. So for women like myself who became a widower, you became a divorcee, I know what it is to start, and I went through depression.
Yeah.
Mine lulled me into depression and took me a while to come back to where I am today. I was doing things every day and like, oh yeah, but you were performing is what I would say, because I'm smiling outside, but nobody knows what's going on inside. And so for that particular reason, Theo touched on something she went through, and then she came out on the outside. She rebuilt herself and made herself better. In this case, she's better off in this case from where she was. Yes. Theo, you wrote a book. And I'm going to jump to this only because it will come back. The Success Formula with Jack Canfield. And for those of you who know, I mentioned it in the beginning, Jack Canfield is the writer of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And his normal thing is to gather a collective bunch of stories from writers. You wrote this, and you were one of the people, very special. Think about this. Theo was a salesperson. She got into Amazon. She went to speak, and then eventually now she's writing books. This is your first book, Theo.
Yes.
Yes. And from there, this launched you into a whole nother world. Please tell us a little bit more about this. I'm going to look at here. You have something. Okay, so one of the things I saw is that you dedicated this book to your mother.
Yes.
That's phenomenal that you did, because she obviously played a very important part in your role. But you've been featured on National Retail Federation, Retail Gets Real, Small Business Journal, International Women's Day, Business News, Tampa Bay Times, Small Biz. So Theo's been featured in a lot of places. So I truly am proud of you for that, for doing what you've done, because Amazon blog, that sort of thing, because you definitely show us women that you can come from a negativity and come back to positivity. Yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about this book, Theo?
Absolutely. The success formula is really one example for anybody out there that is looking to rebuild and says, oh, look at her, she's out there and she's in all of these, I've been featured now in USA Today.
Right.
But before that, believe me, I was you, and I was just putting the scraps together and getting up every day, like you said.
Right.
And doing that one more step.
Yes.
As the precursor to that. And what I did was I developed what I call an inspirational dream team of people I wanted to work with or meet, and Jack Canfield was one of them.
Wow, well, you just inspired me.
Yeah?
Because I have a dream team. Never mind, you were one of the dream team, and I met you. So I did my first one. So, but yes, but I'm going to share this with you. You just gave me, and somebody else out there, I hope you got inspiration. Write the list of the people that you'd like to meet. I know they say don't ever meet your heroes, but listen, there's times when you need to meet those individuals that's going to help take you to the next level, because that launched something for you, Theo.
Yes.
Tell me what the next thing this is. The next thing you got into was writing the Big Idea Journal.
Yes.
Now, for most people, I'm going to add, all of these are on Amazon, by the way. All these books are on Amazon. Get this, because she goes through step by step how it is you come up with your ideas, what are the steps that you need to do, those sort of things. That's a blessing that you're able to create that. Beautiful. Please tell us a little bit more.
So when people ask me, and I've been interviewed so many times, a lot of the things that are asked about, what is your process? How did you meet Jack Canfield? I put him on a dream team. I looked at it all the time, and I started engaging in social media, following him, but meaningful engagement, not just liking the posts, reading all of his articles, and then making meaningful comments. And that was my key there, because then I started to get in the community, and you attract what you're engaged with.
Yes. Theo said something very powerful, and not everybody is a Christian or believe in whatever, regardless of whatever you believe in. You must believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And I normally said, living wealthy always is a mindset. Your mindset can take you from poverty to the penthouse. And the reason that I said that is simply because whatever you indulge yourself in, so whatever you focus on, Theo said she wrote a list and she focused on it. The Bible said, what is that? They call it faith. Speak it and believe it and then see it happen. I know in the secular world we call it all sorts of things, but it all stems from that. And this is not a sermon, please don't think it is. I'm just trying to say to someone, always believe that whatever you envision yourself doing, you can accomplish doing it. So yes, that was powerful, Theo. Definitely.
Yes. And that I surrounded myself with like-minded people.
With like-minded people.
And one of the painful things that happened, I like to share the pain as well as the fun stuff, is that some of the prior relationships and friendships that I had fell off a little bit. Have you experienced that?
Yes, ma'am. But you're going to have to let some of them go too. Because where you're going, you said it, surround yourself with like-minded people. Well, if you're with people that are always gossiping and people that are always bringing people down, are always negative, and they only see the negative side to everything, the glass is always half empty, it's never half full. Yes, you're going to have to let some half-empty glass people go. I'm sorry. And sometimes it's not a permanent situation. No, they themselves might catch on, and then you'll be able to bring them back in. But while you're going through your process of getting where you have to go, you're going to have to let them go.
Often, it's the circle of influence. Jim Rohn says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes.
And it really, if you really look at it, you're that average of their income, their mindset, their activities, what they attract, and it really just is a fact. And a lot of times it's our family. Doesn't mean cut them out. It just means manage the flow, especially during your work time, and stand guard at the door to your mind.
Yes. The key thing is keeping this mind, because regardless of whatever, you know this, Theo, perfectly, whatever we can think, if we can think it, we can achieve it.
Yes.
That's how everything was created in this world. Somebody thought of it, regardless of what we see out here.
So true.
And then it's here.
This design of the
this chair, this table, this glass, every single thing. And Theo, we've got to go on to the next one. This is your pride and joy here. And this is the balance between the hustle and the flow. You've got to pick up this one on Amazon. Theo, tell us a little bit more about this. Yes.
Well, in my journey, what I really found is I was trying to pay attention so that I could replicate what was working and what wasn't. I found that there was really a lot of literature either on 10x, hustle,
Right.
or the meditation and the Zen, but none of us live there. We live every day in the balance between the hustle and
yes.
And we have to know, and the most successful people are the ones who know when to let things happen and when to make things happen.
That's one of the things that you said in here, and I thought it was very powerful. Knowing when to make things happen and when to let things happen. That's powerful.
Yes.
Knowing, the Bible called that wisdom.
Yes. It is. And so when you go through your daily life and you think about it, what as an example, so people will say, oh, Theo, should I contact the recruiter again if they're trying to get a job? Or should I, follow up again? Always in your mind, what should I do next? Should I get another side hustle? Should I? Always the questions.
Right. So you have to be able to determine for yourself. And it's okay to make mistakes.
Yes.
It's
great
okay.
to make mistakes.
It's great because you just learned something. What not to do is what you just learned.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's definitely. Now, Theo, I know you've talked about the fact that you came up in entrepreneurship and you've written these three books, which, by the way, you guys must guess on Amazon. We're going to put you in contact with that.
I am 15 years old. Right now we're at Infinity Aero Club, Tampa. An amazing flight club experience. I want to fly for the Navy. I want to fly fighters, land on boats, and then after that, go to Top Gun, be a test pilot, Blue Angel, things like that. And I want to go and be an astronaut. Absolutely. The only limits that there are for you are the ones that you set for yourself.
Please tell us about what drives Theo. What makes you get up every morning to say, hey, this is what I've got to do. This is how I'm going to accomplish or what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking that. And of course, my why is that I have 3 children. Okay. So they are, and right now I have 2 in college and 1 in a private high school.
That will cause you to get up in the morning.
You gotta get up. Get up. And also because I see the influence that my parents had on me.
Right.
So I want to be an example. If I say I've heard this so put so well, if you tell your children you can be anything, but they see you sitting back, you can be anything, but I'm not going to go for my dream.
Right.
They see you.
Yeah, they see.
Yes.
See. Yes.
So that is my reason for getting up every day. You don't have to be perfect to make it happen. You don't have to just have a straight and narrow. Plenty of things that have happened to me that have been out of my control in business, that have been failures, that I overcame, and then I got up, and then I surrounded myself with really good people who said, you can do it, don't let this, you have to make sure that you've got your corner stacked with people that are going to be there that want to see you succeed and not afraid for you to succeed.
Keyword, that want to see you succeed. So yes, I truly agree with you 100%, because your sphere of influence, as we just said, makes a difference. Always make sure you have someone that's doing way better than you, somebody that you can use as a motivator. And just in case you don't, still surround yourself with the people, like-minded people that you want to be like. Yes, and let that be. And you know what? It's not that difficult. I know you might say, well, I live here and I live there. Thea just told you. She connected with somebody through social media. The world has just become this small.
And being online, there are so many community groups. One of the other things I started doing was actually contributing and joining like masterminds.
Yes.
So ones that are either paid or unpaid. I joined all different kinds of groups. They might not call them masterminds. And if you don't have one, what I did was I got 3 or 4 of the people that are in the same category that I'm in business development. And we got together once a month and just brainstormed ideas to help them, and they got to help me.
Help you with an idea and something that you might have come up with that not knowing how to execute, somebody else knows how to execute it to help you along the way.
Not only knowing, but Juneann, what the other thing is the power of intention. When 2 people get together and they have the intention, and even if your mastermind that you come up with are just 2 or 3 friends that are trying to start, developing an outside business or grow their business.
Right.
They have the intention for you to catapult and to be successful. I think there's power in that.
There is mighty power in that,
Yes.
definitely. Theo, one of the things, I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you and to be able to create this dialogue and for you to be on here, because it's going to make a difference for somebody needed to hear what you just said.
Yeah.
I know this. Somebody needed to hear that. Somebody need to know that as a female, going through whatever it is you're going through, yes, you can go through and come out back on the other side. I just put something on Facebook the other day and I said, falling off the horse is not important. It's the getting back on the horse that is the only importance.
Yes.
Is that you get back on. So you felt, so you started several businesses and it was not successful. Every single person that has a business out here, yeah, there might be a few people that came into it and it might have inherited it from somebody and so it ran. But if they started a business from scratch, somehow they've encountered some sort of negativity, some sort of failure. They might have had to pivot even in their business from one thing to the other. And pivoting is not a bad thing. It just means that, hey, now I'm moving on to something else, or I'm moving in a different direction. They're still helping somebody. They're still doing whatever it is they need to do. It's just in a different direction.
That's exactly right. And with our line, one of the lines we sell, I own several different brands, but that we started with on Amazon, what had happened was when we first launched it, we launched as a direct sales in-home parties. Remember the in-home parties of like the candles?
Yes.
Ours were the in-home spa experience. So we had the natural sponges and the lotions and stuff. But then that business model went out and we had to say, what are we going to do?
Right.
And that's when Amazon came in, and that's why I took the leap.
So that was a pivot.
It was a pivot.
That was a pivot for sure. That was definitely a pivot. And please tell us your products that you have.
Yes. So one of the lines is called Spa Destinations, and it is creating the at-home spa experience. We've got wonderful natural sponges from Tarpon Springs.
Yes.
And body lotions and body washes, and with all kinds of vegan products and natural ingredients. That's one of our lines, and then we have several hair care lines. One that we just launched called Rebond Miracle Hair Mask. So if you go on Amazon and you just check it out, Spa Destinations, or Juneann can leave a link.
Yes, I will leave a link on there. Yes, certainly.
Yes.
And Theo, please tell everyone how they can get a hold of you, because you are a professional motivational speaker.
Yes.
So if you'd like to get a hold of Theo, where she can come inspire your group, your business people, your employees, that's your church members, that sort of thing, she can come out and do that. Theo, please tell us a little bit more about how it is they can get a hold of you.
Thank you so much. And because I have a long last name, so on social media you can reach out and just connect with Theo. is my Instagram handle.
Oh wow!
And Facebook, and then I'm also on Twitter. And as you know, my last name is Prodromitis. But connect with Theo, and if you do get my full name, just Google it, and you'll see the links there.
Listen, there's not too many Theo Prodromitis, because I'm going to tell you, first of all, not too many Theos that are female. When you hear Theo, you're like, oh, okay. And then you see this beautiful young lady come up, there she is.
The only limits that there are for you are the ones that you set for yourself.
I say this to you, wherever you live. I don't care where your economic status is. No. Every place there's a sun, there's a star, there's a moon. We all have access to that. Just looking up and envisioning yourself in whatever it is where you want to be, even from a financial standpoint, from a health standpoint as well. Where do you want to see yourself? Just giving thanks, because the key word is to give thanks as if it was done already, not as if you're gonna do it. Because I know most of the time people say, I'm going to do that one day. See yourself doing it to get to the point. That's what Theo had to do. That's what I had to do to get myself out of that depression, to get myself back on my feet to doing what it is that I'm doing now. We all had to go through that. It's a process. Envision yourself. And that could be with no money in your pocket. I'm talking about, no, oh, you don't know my situation. No, your situation is what you can create. Yes, this is temporary, whatever it is you're going through. Envision yourself, whether it's up in the stars, up in the sun, whether it's wherever in the corner of your house that you want to see yourself. Wherever it is, I don't care if you live outside. Envision yourself moving into a house and seeing yourself in an apartment. Whatever it is you want to see yourself in, and get yourself there. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
just my own gratitude for the time,
Yes.
for the openness, for
Yes.
the ability to reach a new audience, and to actually just be present here with
To be
you.
present, yes. So we want to share that with you. So listen, guys, I'm going to have a guest on next week that is going to be somebody that's going to blow your mind away. This young man was incarcerated and came out and turned his life around. So I want you to know, even if you've went through something negative in life, it can be turned around. Doesn't matter, as long as you have life. And this is breathing, air is coming out of here, and your lungs is moving. Even if they told you had stage 4 cancer, you can turn that around too, because it's all here. Yes. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and see you next week.